Hello there, welcome along to The Sweet Spot, the weekly golf show from the Racing Post. It's Bruce Millington and Steve Palmer. The Open is next week, and this week some vital preparations taking place up in Scotland. We've got the Scottish Open, we've got the John Deere Classic over in America. And we'll look back first on what happened last weekend. Oh, by the way, some exciting news about the Sweet Spot. I'll bring you that later on. First of all, though, Steve, should we start with the Irish Open? I think Lucas Herbert literally led wire to wire, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Lucas Herbert, inevitable victory for him. Last off the shortlist, top of the now notorious others to note section. That's 3 weeks in a row we've had that. We had Garrick Higgo, Jon Rahm, Lucas Herbert. I got too het up about jet lag. I thought the jet lag from the trip to Connecticut would be too much. It was only a 6.5 hour flight, so obviously regret that.
He wouldn't have been in economy either, would he? He'd have had a nice flat bed.
That's it.
He slept like a baby.
That's it. I mean, Connecticut to Kilkenny, you think that's a massive journey, don't you? But it's only 6.5 hours. So I do have massive regrets because he had fantastic stateside form. 19th and 18th in high-class PGA Tour company. It's a huge downgrade, isn't it, to the European Tour? So you had to really respect that form. And he went off at 33-1. He had a little bit of fortune on Sunday. A couple of loose drives, found the trees, and he managed to locate them. It wasn't plain sailing, but Lucas Herbert, a fairly cosy winner in the end. And then obviously
it was exciting. Both exciting finishes, weren't they? I mean, in America, it was absolutely extraordinary, wasn't it? We had an 8-hole playoff the week before, and then it took 5 holes to separate them last week, didn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And, some late nights for PGA Tour golf fans. I mean, last week I'm dusting myself down after a very trying week. I mean, before it even started last week, we had a huge setback with Bryson DeChambeau. I don't know if you're following that story.
Oh, yeah. Tell us all about that. That was extraordinary, wasn't it? I love the way that basically he and his caddy split, and they tried to make out it was amicable, didn't they? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it can't be amicable when it happens that late. I mean, it was just before the tournament's about to start. They've clearly had a bust up. And Bryson DeChambeau is more reliant on his caddy than probably anyone else on the circuit. I mean, he's the mad scientist, goes through these deep calculations with Timmy Tucker on every shot. So he's probably about a 25-1 shot to win that tournament after what happened there.
Really? You think it's that important?
Yeah. I think for DeChambeau, because it is a science to him. And Timmy Tucker's apparently he's the only caddy that can read the green reading book that DeChambeau uses. DeChambeau uses the Vector green reading book, and Timmy Tucker's the only one that understands it. So DeChambeau is in big trouble now. It's not a case of getting a new caddy for DeChambeau. He needs his old one back. He's the only one. He's got to just eat humble pie and go and beg for Timmy Tucker's forgiveness, really, and get him back. So, yeah, I mean, that was a disastrous start. Then Sam Horsfield obviously ran lame in the Irish Open, sudden injury.
Oh, he was lame, was he?
Well, he withdrew after round one. I mean, he's the sort of player, he wouldn't have just withdrawn after a bad start because he's the sort of player that goes 63, 73, 63, 70. He could easily got back in that tournament, so he must have been carrying some sort of injury. And then, as you say, a late night for the PGA Tour event. Jason Kokrak and Joachim Neiman. I mean, both tied for the lead quite deep into that final round. Joachim Neiman basically looked like the likely winner all the way through it until he wasn't. Went 72 holes without a bogey.
I know, but were you worried about that when Baker Finch kept saying 72 holes without a bogey? They kept saying it, so you just knew what was going to happen, didn't you? And then he had that rush of blood, didn't he, with that terrible wedge shot through the green.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of adrenaline in the system there. But yeah, first bogey of the tournament in the extra hole. And then obviously to rub salt into the wound, Cameron Davis, or Cam Davis as he likes to be called now, seems to have an official name change.
Or Cam Smith as he kept being called.
Yeah. I mean, we've had him down as a maiden who's going to win very, very soon. And obviously we missed
150-1, wasn't he?
Yeah. We missed the Cameron Davis breakthrough victory, but never mind. We dust ourselves down and we go again. Yeah, we were close, but no cigar.
It'll come, Steve. It'll come. Let's see if it will be this week. Let's start with the Scottish Open, which takes place at North Berwick. I think you made a bit of a disparaging remark about it last week, but we'll get the betting first and then get your thoughts on the course. We've got Big Johnny Rahm in action. He's roughly 7-1. As I always say, shop around for not just best prices, but best each way terms. Then we've got Xander Schauffele at 14s, Colin Morikawa at 14s. This gives you a clue what a high-class tournament it is. Then we've got Rory. He's in at 18s. Justin Thomas is 18s. Tyrell Hatton, 22. Scotty Scheffler, 28. Matt Fitzpatrick, 13. It's 35's bar. So, what a cracking tournament, Steve. Why don't you like the course?
Just because it's not a pure links test. I hate to sound like Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy gave it all sorts of criticism when he played it in 2019. He said it wasn't good prep for the Open. I mean, it's got some trees on it. I mean, those trees, you know, it really offends the links purist when you see some trees. It's a semi-links. It's a semi-links. I mean, it's just not my favourite links course because I don't think it's pure enough. I mean, no, I mean, it should be a fantastic tournament. There's such a high-class field. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned the sponsors. I mean, the sponsor's name is crazy. They've had a rebrand since last year. It used to be
the list I'm looking at doesn't have the sponsor's name on. So go on, tell me.
Oh, you'll have a field there. The sponsor is Aberdeen. They've taken the vowels out of it used to be Standard Life Aberdeen, some sort of rebrand, which I cannot get my head around. I thought it was a mistake on the European Tour website when I saw it. They've just got ABRDN now as their rebrand.
Oh, I can't stand that. I cannot stand that. Can you? We get this all the time with these companies coming in, and they go for a particular name that they want, like say Aspire or something. And then obviously that's been taken. So they just drop all the vowels out. It's pathetic. Honestly, absolutely ridiculous. Oh, yeah. Yes. Aberdeen Scottish Open. I'll get lost.
Scotch. So it's not a misprint. That is the name of the tournament. We're at a course I'm not convinced with, but the field is fantastic.
And there'll be somebody at Steve going, oh, well, it's work because you're talking about it. I hate it when people do that. God's sake. Yeah. Anyway, never mind that. That's the only negative. And the fact there's a tree or two on the course. I've actually tried to make this barren, windswept land look quite interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Should we have the weather? Because I think with all links tournaments, Steve, it can be absolutely horrific, in which case, 7 over wins it, or it can be pathetically benign and, you miss the cut on 10 under, can't you? So what are we expecting?
We're expecting pathetically benign, cloudy and calm conditions. It won't get past 10 mile an hour. So, I mean, the greens are the big defence of this course. They're very complex greens, heavily contoured. So, it's a short game test more than anything this week.
No wonder Bryson's not there then.
Well, he's just be on the phone to Timmy Tucker, isn't he? Like a lovelorn child.
Do you think he does humility and can he? Has he got it in him to apologise? Do you think?
I think he has to in this case. Yeah, he'll be a rudderless ship without Timmy Tucker.
Couldn't he find some sort of boffin to take over on the bag? Someone who
maybe there's someone out there.
Geometry issues.
There might be someone out there, but I don't think there's a caddy on the circuit now that's a natural replacement. So serious problems for DeChambeau. Yeah, we don't.
By the way, I'm having a little look ahead to Open weather the following week down in Kent, and it's going to be very nice there as well. So there could be a very low score in the Open, but then it all changes. But we'll tackle that next week. So we've got benign conditions. We've got a high class field. How many selections?
5 selections, 3 at massive prices.
Rightio, excellent. And the headline selection first. If you're only having one bet this week on the Aberdeen Scottish Open, it's going to be
Tyrrell Hatton. Tyrrell Hatton. I think Tyrrell Hatton's got more hunger for this tournament than the big guns that are ahead of him in the betting. He missed the cut in the US Open last time out. He's not played much lately. He got married at the end of May. Then he came back in the Palmetto Championship when we were on him. Magnificent from tee to green. He tied second in the Palmetto despite missing everything on the green.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
His frustration levels with that putter were boiling over. I mean, he gets agitated easily anyway, but he wanted to snap that putter. He went into the US Open lacking flat stick confidence. But traditionally, Hatton's short game is a strength. He's one of the best in the world. I think he will have found the answers since the US Open in that little break he's had. The last time he missed the cut in the US Open, his following event was the BMW PGA Championship, and he won that in fine style. I think the same thing's going to happen in a different European Tour event this week. He loves links golf in Scotland. He's twice won the Dunhill Links Championship by big margins. He's got 2 top 4s in the Scottish Open. He was 5th in the 2016 Open at Royal Troon, and in his only start in the Renaissance, he opened with a 70 to get tailed off, finished 14th once he got used to the course. So, I think 7th European Tour title is coming for Hatton on Sunday.
Okay, and this course is called the Renaissance rather than the North Berwick that it used to be now, is it? Is that right?
The Renaissance, yeah. I don't know whether it's ever been called the North Berwick. Yeah, it's
was it?
So it's quite a modern.
Oh, I see. I thought it was North
a luxury
Berwick.
Complex. No, a luxury complex designed for rich people to play some links golf.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so Tyrrell Hatton, the main selection. Who do you think the biggest danger is?
I think it's Bernd Wiesberger. There's been only one previous Scottish Open at the Renaissance played in July. Last year, due to COVID, we had it in October. Wiesberger's got 100% record in July. at the Renaissance. He's a prolific European Tour champion, 8 wins, 2 Rolex Series events in there. He's twice finished second in the Irish Open. He finished second in the British Masters. Great record in the UK and Ireland. And in the Maiden Himmerland, not that long ago, end of May, won by 5 shots. Absolutely dominated that event in Denmark. Last time out, 5th in the BMW International.
Didn't putt very well there, did he? He was in contention, wasn't he? But
he's won by 5.
Yeah,
if you can win by 5 putting bad.
No, I'm saying in the BMW.
In the BMW.
He was in the mix, wasn't he? But he just couldn't hold a putt.
Yeah. No, I'm encouraged by Burton Bees. We're 40-1. 40. I think it's drifted to 45 actually, just before we came.
Oh wow,
in.
Lovely. Sorry, I've just noticed my eye's been drawn. We've got a slightly wider vista of the shed today. What's that behind your right shoulder? Who's that on the wall?
Oh, that's me, Joff. Yeah, Joff sent me that.
It's just a picture of you.
Yeah, John Owen from Formby sent me that. Some massive picture of me during the Patrick Reed winning the Masters. Obviously got a bit overexcited on Twitter.
I see.
Yeah, John Owen from Formby.
Yeah.
Sends me all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Yeah, it's a bit egotistic. I don't like that. I mean, the way things are going, I should rip it up at the moment. But can you see Mike Tyson's boxing glove? I'm right next to Mike Tyson's boxing glove.
No, I can see the boot, I can see the football shirt, and I can see the classic picture of you with your hands seductively placed on Michael Van Gerwen's chest, which is my favourite picture of all time.
God, I miss him. I'll have to go to a darts tournament soon and fondle him again.
Oh, that'll be nice. Okay, so we've got Wiesberg as number 2, we've got Hatton as number 1, and then you promised us 3 long shots. Let's go.
Absolutely, all 3-figure prices, and the first one is Victor Dubuisson. We all know how good Victor Dubuisson is, and he showcased those skills in Scotland in 2014 in the Ryder Cup at Gleneagles. He played 3 matches at Gleneagles, scored 2.5 points. Graham McDowell predicted he was the next big thing in golf. Not an outrageous prediction, given he was a former world number 1 amateur. It's not worked out. Dubuisson's not lived up to the billing. He's had physical issues, he's had mental issues, but he's only 31, and there's been signs of life lately. I think Dubuisson might be ready to start winning again. He played well in Kenya in March, and he was 4th in the BMW International last time out. And in October last year, Dubuisson turned up for the Scottish Open at the Renaissance. He hadn't competed for 7 months, and he finished 9th. He got off to a predictably slow start, came out the gates with a 73, looked like he was going to miss the cut. Absolutely superb over the final 3 rounds, so he likes this course.
Okay, excellent. What sort of price is we can't, he's one of those players you can't really refer to by his initials, can you, like Justin Thomas?
Oh, no, of course, no. He's 125-1.
Okay, brilliant. And next?
And the next one is Matthew Jordan, who is a links natural. I know this is not a pure links, but it's close enough. Matt Jordan is a Wirral lad, does his practice at Hoylake, it's an open venue. He won the St Andrews Links Trophy as an amateur. He won the Lytham Trophy by 9 shots as an amateur. That links form has continued in the pro ranks. He shot a first round 63 in the 2019 British Masters at Hillside, finished 15th, and then he was 5th in the Dunhill Links Championship. This year's been frustrating for him, but his last 2 starts have been greatly encouraging. 17th in the BMW International, 12th in Ireland last week. He's won on the Challenge Tour. He's only 25. I think he's a really good player, but I also think he's a really good egg. He's been donating prize money to NHS workers.
Wow.
His auntie works on the COVID front line, so he's been very keen to help. So you should be rooting for Matty Jordan this week, even if you don't have a bet on him. But you should have a bet on him.
175-1 I've seen. Is there bigger than that out there?
I think the 200 one's been gobbled now, but yeah, 175-1, fantastic each way investment.
Brilliant. Oh, well, that would be a great story, wouldn't it? If a good egg like him got it done. And finally,
Grant Forrest, really impressive last week. Finished 4th in the Irish Open. I think he can build on that form at a course he knows. He's from North Berwick, lives in North Berwick, and he played well there in the Open qualifier in 2017. Finished 2nd in the Open qualifier to get into the Open. In this tournament, he's finished 43rd and 19th. Swinging really well in Ireland last week. He had a dodgy last couple of holes, but I was impressed with Grant Forrest. I think he's good enough to go on to win. I think he's only 25 as well.
And what sort of price is he, Steve?
Same as Matty Jordan. Yeah, 175-1. Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's look at some of the big guns. I mean, obviously, most of the big names are going to be more concerned about winning next week than this week. Is there a jinx, by the way? Can you win this and the Open?
I think you can. Yeah, I don't think there's a jinx, but I think you're right. Well,
there's no such thing as a jinx, is there? It's one of those things on the ridiculous list, isn't there? But I'm just saying, historically, is it something that doesn't happen that often?
I think the biggest concern for the players this week that this is not a perfect preparation for them. I think they'd rather be playing at one of the other Scottish Open venues. But I think John Rahm is a short price, given that he hasn't played since the US Open. That was his first major win. I think he's going to be a bit rusty. It must have been huge celebrations after that. It's his course debut. There's a lot of course debutants at the top of the market there. I mean, Xander Schauffele's making his course debut. Long victory drought for him. I've got no interest in Xander. Colin Morikawa, course debutant, big short game test for him. I mean, Colin Morikawa broke my heart in the final round of the US Open, missed a couple of tiddlers in the final round of the US Open. I think these greens will test him at the Renaissance. And then Rory McIlroy, probably the most difficult market leader to be interested in, really, given his comments on the course. I saw him before the Irish Open in his press conference there. He's only really playing in this tournament because he hasn't got anything to do. His plan was to bring all his family over from the States for the Irish Open and the Open. He was going to spend time with them in the week in between. But then he looked at the European Tour COVID regulations and just saw that it'd be impossible to have his family around. So he came on the trip on his own. So he doesn't like the course and he's only playing because he just doesn't want to sit in his room twiddling his thumbs.
Alton Towers is open. There's plenty you can do, isn't it? You can do all sorts. Probably go to Barnard Castle. That's not too far from there now.
Yeah, he just didn't think it was fair on his wife and child to bring him over for this trip. But I don't like McIlroy this week.
Do you like Justin Thomas?
He's got course experience, which gives him an edge over the others. But again, he's short game the way it is. Can you trust him putting on these greens?
Fair enough. Who was the last one off the short list? Let's torture ourselves.
It was actually really, really good this week. I didn't spend ages. Like last week, 2 hours, Lucas Herbert, jet lag, blah, 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 blah.
2 hours of whittling you took, did you?
2 hours deciding whether to have Herbert as a sixth selection or not. This week, yes, this is why it affects me so much. But this week, it really slotted into place lovely. The long list transition from long list to short list was so natural. There was no one that I needed to spend ages mulling over. So, if you were pushing me on it, it'd be Garrick Blimmin Higo. But no, I can handle him winning. Now, it worked. I'm really quite positive about this week. I think I've got some good tips.
Jolly good. Are you excited about the Open? It's only 9 days away as we speak, isn't it? Down at Royal Sandwich.
Yeah.
Jon Rahm favourite 9-1. Rory 12s. Dustin 12s. It's funny actually, Steve. I was saying the other day that going into the Open, a lot of the big guns of the kind of big guns. There's probably a big 7 or big 8 in world golf at the moment, isn't it? Only really Jon Rahm is actually going in there with great form, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a very strong favourite, and it's going to be very difficult to avoid Jon Rahm next week. I mean, the most fascinating thing for me about this Open is how many people are pulling out from the Open. I mean, we're going to have a thin field here the way things are going.
Really? Who's not playing?
Yeah, Sung Jae Im and Siwoo Kim have just withdrawn because they want to focus on the Olympics. Because you've got the Olympics at the end of this month. Yeah, and for them that's absolutely huge because they want to get out their 2 years military service. If they don't win an Olympic medal, they're going to have 2 years of their career destroyed by military service. So for them, the Olympics is everything.
Oh, that's massive pressure, isn't it? Imagine standing on an 8-foot putt on the final green, and if you miss it, you've got to spend 2 years in the army.
Yeah. So I mean, to pull out of the Open to prepare for that because they don't want to risk getting COVID. And it's just too
sure.
I think the field size could be curiously short for the Open.
Well, it's not. They'll fill it, won't they? Just been all about the quality, won't it? I'm sure there's plenty of people will be queuing up to play, won't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the usual Open, is it? And obviously the crowds are going to be low, and
it's a shame, isn't it? Because it's the final week before the restrictions lift, isn't it? So we're almost there. But on an upbeat note, we've got a new show on Sunday week, haven't we? We're doing it for the first time, Sweet Spot Live. Steve and we're going to be talking you through on this particular channel the final round live, watching it as it happens. Interacting hopefully with you guys, plenty of your comments. We'll be having a bit of banter along the way, and hopefully Steve will be offering some good in-play bets. So we've just got to work out how long we're going to be on air for, haven't we, Steve?
Yeah. I don't know the details. I'm learning all the details as you tell them to me.
This is all news to you, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I hope you haven't arranged a barbecue or something. That'd be a complete disaster.
No. That should be very interesting. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a few in contention.
Okay, right then. So we've done the Scottish Open. Let's do the John Deere Classic over in America. Obviously, because a lot of the big names are in Scotland this week, it's not the greatest field. I'll spin you through the betting. We've got Daniel Berger heading the market around about 11-1. Brian Harman's 14s. Sung Jae Im 18s. Russell Henley's 20s. Streelman is 25s. Cam Davis 30s. Alex Noren 30. Siwoo Kim 33. Seamus Power 33, and it's 40-1 bar. So not the best field, Steve. Tell us about the course.
TPC Deer Run, Silvius, Illinois, 7,268 yards, par 71, hosted since 2000. We've had a 59 at this venue. We've had a 60 at this venue. It's always easy. You need a strong wedge game and a hot putter. Not much breeze expected this week. So, yeah, an absolute birdie fest on the cards again.
Are you confident going into this tournament?
Yeah, ludicrously so. Yeah. I've only got 3 selections, and I think all 3 of them will be jostling for the title on Sunday night.
Your confidence gland is seriously overproductive, isn't it?
I mean, on Mondays, if I have a hangover from Monday night's, Sunday night action, I woke up Monday morning crestfallen by what happened to Wacker Neiman, and I have a confidence dip. But when I start looking in to the next week's tournament, I just feel like I've got it all sussed out again. Yeah, so hopefully I'll never lose that. You need to be confident in this game.
You certainly do, mate. I say so. They call him Wacko Neiman now, don't they? That's if you want to sound in, you got to call him Wacko.
Yeah, you have got to say, well, I say whack him, because that's what I say to my son when we're at the driving range. I put the ball down and go, whack him.
Do you take Tommy to the driving range?
His progress is exceptional. He's got a coach now. I've signed up.
He's literally 2 years and 1 month, and he's got a coach. You're an official pushy dad.
No, not at all. He begs to go there. He begs to go to the golf.
He has not got a golf coach.
Nick Rogers, head pro at Came Down Golf Club, birthplace of the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup was originated at Came Down Golf Club. Sam Ryder was sat in that clubhouse and came up with the idea for the Ryder Club. Nick Rogers. It's quite hard to find coaches for young kids, because most coaches say they won't do it till they're 4 because they don't.
Well, they can't even talk. I mean, he's supposed to
Tommy can talk a fair bit. Yeah.
Can he?
Yeah. He's a yapper, and he says take me to the driving range. He's very advanced for his age, and most coaches don't do it till the age of 4. So I had to really negotiate with Nick Rogers, and I took him up the range, and he was very sceptical about it. And then he put the ball on the tee. And Tommy Tiger just went out and whacked it off the tee, and Nick kept putting it on the tee, and whack. He did 16 balls in a row, just perfect. And he's just okay, I'll take the job.
No way.
His hand-eye coordination is incredible. Yeah, so I desperately want to win enough money to fund Tommy Tiger's career, really, because it's all happening quite quick.
It sounds like he might get a sponsor at the rate he's going.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
You need to do that thing where you go into a bookmaker and ask for a price for him to win the Open before. What would it be? Before the year 2050s, I suppose.
Yes. Hills and Ladbrokes used to offer them. I remember walking with Rory McIlroy's dad just before he won the Open. And I went up to him because McIlroy was way ahead, and I went up to Rory McIlroy's dad and said, "Well done on your bet," and he went, "Oh, no, thank you, brother." You want a fortune. You want an absolute fortune.
You've got to do that. You've got to ask for a price, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm not a pushy parent. He's as keen as mustard. I get frustrated. Sometimes I just want to lie down and watch, children's TV.
That's amazing. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, right. Sorry, you got 3 selections. There was a lot of ado there. So without further ado, who's your main selection for the John Deere Classic?
Main selection is Brian Harman. This course sets up perfectly for Brian Harman. It's not too long, all about sharp wedges and strong putting. Harman always been deadly on the greens. I remember when he won this in 2014, seems like only yesterday, I was struggling to get over Argentina losing the World Cup final to Germany. I'd have a big bet on Argentina to win that World Cup, but I also had a bet on Brian Harman at massive prices for the John Deere. So really bittersweet evening, I'll never forget. Argentina lost, Harman won. You're not going to get a massive price on Harman this week. The 16-1 has already been taken. 14-1 is your top whack, general 14-1. But that's a fair price given how rubbish this field is. I tipped Harman to win the Masters this year because he's been playing so consistently well. He was 9th at Augusta. That followed 3rd place at Sawgrass, a run to the quarterfinals of the match play. His last 3 starts have resulted in 8th place at Colonial, 19th in the US Open, and 5th in the Travelers Championship. So, I think Harman, surefire contender for this. And I think the Hatton-Harman double, which has got a lovely ring to it, can provide hell for the bookmakers this week.
Brilliant. Okay. Right then, Harman, a very confident selection. Who's the main danger, do you think?
The main danger is Aaron Wise, 2018 PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. He won the Byron Nelson in fine style that year. He looked a potential world beater. He's not kicked on as I expected he would, but he's only 25, plenty of time to fulfill that potential. This season, he's finished runner-up in the Mayakoba Classic, 13th in the Honda Classic, 9th in the Wells Fargo, 17th in the PGA Championship, 9th in the Memorial. So he's definitely getting his act together again. He carded a 63 in the 2016 John Deere Classic. That was his first start in a regulation PGA Tour event. So we know he acts on this turf.
Wise words, mate.
I like it.
Thanks. And I had to do a big long and there to give you a chance to swig your Diet Coke. There's a lot of Diet Coke going down there today, mate. It must be hot in the shed, is it?
Yeah, it is quite moist in the shed, yeah.
Okay, right then. Third and
final. Maverick McNeely. You know how much I love Maverick McNeely. Quietly enjoying a decent 2021 campaign. Really impressive runner-up in the Pebble Beach Pro-Am in the middle of February. He was 4th in the Heritage in April. Last 3 starts, 20, 30, 21. This is a former world number 1 amateur, 25 years of age. I seem to have tipped a lot of 25-year-olds this week. I think he's ready to win as a pro. His first John Deere Classic, this is his first John Deere Classic as a pro. He went there as an amateur in 2017 and finished 44th. McNeely, fantastic putter. You're going to need, you can't win this without a hot flat stick. McNeely usually carries one.
Okay. Was Daniel Berger the favourite ever likely to be among the portfolio? He could be a cut above this lot, I suppose, couldn't he?
I think Brian Harman's a better bet. I mean, Berger, he had a little rib problem not that long ago. He pulled out of the Honda Classic, I think it was, with a rib problem. Those sort of the rib can flare up now and then. It's just when if I'm backing Berger at those sort of prices, I want everything in my favour, and so that's just a little devil on my shoulder saying stay away. And I think motivation as well. I think Harman hasn't won since 2017, so Harman will see this as a great opportunity to end a long victory drought. Berger won in February at Pebble Beach, so I much prefer Harman to Berger.
Okay, should we just recap the selections then? Let's start with the Scottish Open.
Scottish Open. Sorry, I'm going over here again.
That's all right, mate.
I'm just trying to make sure I don't make any mistakes.
Don't worry, Steve.
Tyrrell Hatton.
what was that big sigh for?
Sorry, I'm just knackered. Tyrrell Hatton. I should have put the hat on that Josh gave me. I've remembered that now. I'll put it on next week if he wins. Tyrrell Hatton, Bernd Wiesberger, Victor Dubuisson, Matty Jordan. Never met him, but I feel like I could call him Matty because I really like the bloke, even though I've never met him. And then Grant Forrest.
And in the John Deere Classic,
Brian Harman, Aaron Wise, Maverick McNeely.
Okay, excellent. So you've got the England shirt on, keeping the faith, eh? It's been an amazing week since we last spoke, hasn't it?
Oh, you must have had a whale of a time at watching us defeat the Germans.
That was honestly, Steve. I was saying to someone, I don't know whether, I think it was Eddie Murphy who once did a sketch, and he said, like, if you've been in jail and you have a cracker, he said, that's like the greatest cracker you've ever tasted, even though it's not. And it felt like that. Going to Wembley, it was like the first proper big crowd I've been in for years. So it felt like the greatest atmosphere ever. But I still think it was the greatest atmosphere ever. It was just unbelievable, honestly. It was so good. It really was. It was brilliant.
I mean, the atmosphere just in my living room was electric. I can imagine it was 10 times better there. I mean, me and Masha were embracing. Masha's a very reserved man, very quiet, shy man. When that first goal went in against Germany, we're embracing. I don't know whether that breaching COVID protocol, but we were embracing. And I'm quietly confident now.
Where did you watch Saturday's game?
Saturday's game was at a barbecue at Masha's house. Barbecue at Masha's house
again. Scenes there?
Oh, it's just so straightforward, wasn't it? I think tonight's game will go. I know it's a golf podcast, but let's discuss it because everyone else is.
Yeah, of course.
I think Italy are going to win on pens tonight. And then I think England will win 2 or 3-0 tomorrow. And then I think a really tight, tetchy final. But we've got so many good attacking midfielders, haven't we? I think I can see the final being 0-0, going to extra time, and then our beautiful bench.
Who would you like to score the winner? I know we can't get ahead of ourselves, but who would you like to pop up in the 119th minute with the winning goal?
I think it's got to be Raheem Sterling, isn't it? I think I like Raheem's backstory. He's come from poverty, and he's a national hero now. I think Sterling can bring the nation together with the last minute winner in extra time. Because if it goes to penalties in the final, I'd fear for us against the Italians. I'd fear for us against it. So I know. Yeah.
Anyway, it's all very exciting. As you say, it's nice that everyone's sort of unified and all enjoying it because we've all been through a bit of a tough time, haven't we?
Yeah, there's nothing like it for bringing people together, is there? The camaraderie is electric when England do well. So let's hope it doesn't all go horribly wrong.
Absolutely not. Okay, Steve, thank you very much indeed. Good luck with the selections this week. We're back next Tuesday for the Sweet Spot Open special. And don't forget, we've got the Sweet Spot live on Sunday week for the final round of the Open. If you've got any suggestions on what we can do, we've got a planning meeting tomorrow because Steve didn't even know it was happening until about an hour ago. So leave some comments down at the bottom of the stream. We always love reading your comments. Have a fantastic week. Hope the football goes well. Hope the golf goes well. And we'll see you next week for our Open Sweet Spot special.